Okay, let's dive into this. We are tackling a genuinely fascinating and frankly, deeply impactful topic today. We spend so much time talking about diet, exercise, and the latest fitness trends, but what if there's a hidden, completely invisible antagonist sabotaging our metabolic health right under our noses?
Could a common, everyday chemical literally be making you gain weight? It sounds almost like science fiction, right? For decades, the traditional understanding of weight management has been strictly calories in, calories out. We're taught that our waistlines are basically just a reflection of our willpower and our lifestyle choices. But the robust research we're looking at today fundamentally challenges that entire paradigm and points to something else entirely.
Enter the obesogen. So what exactly is that? It's a class of endocrine-disrupting chemicals, or EDCs. Think of these as a biological Trojan horse. They sneak into our bodies, usually completely undetected through our everyday environment. And once inside, they interfere with our natural hormonal systems. They literally hijack our metabolic processes. It's like they're changing the rules of the game from the inside.
Now you might be thinking to yourself, well, I eat clean. I probably don't encounter these chemicals. 100%. According to comprehensive biomonitoring data, nearly 100% of the United States population is exposed to a specific, highly prevalent type of these obesogens, called phthalates, on a daily basis. You really can't just exercise your way out of this kind of exposure.
And hey, it's not just an American issue either. This is a massive global invasion. Data from several European cohorts reveals that over 95% of women and children are exposed to these phthalates every single day. Only a tiny, microscopic 5% sliver of the population manages to avoid them. Honestly, it's almost more impressive if you somehow aren't exposed at this point.
Section 1. Where do phthalates hide? The invisible culprits in your home.
That brings us to the obvious question. Where exactly are these ubiquitous chemicals lurking in our everyday lives to get those kinds of exposure numbers? Well, they're actually utilized as plasticizers and chemical ingredients across 3 massive categories of our daily routines. First up, your morning routine, personal care items. They're frequently found right there in your cosmetics, your perfumes, and the lotions you rub directly onto your skin. Second is your pantry, food packaging and processing. We're talking beverage bottles, the plastic linings of canned goods, and they are heavily associated with highly processed foods. And finally, your living room, household goods. They're woven into our household furnishings, our flame-retardant treated furniture, and even the plastic toys our kids play with. So the crucial point is, they are deeply embedded in our homes.
Section 2. Hijacking your metabolism. How obesogens build fat.
Let's shift our focus from where these chemicals hide to exactly how they biologically sabotage our bodies once they get past our defenses. Exposure to phthalates doesn't just passively sit in your system. It triggers a real biological chain reaction. Step 1, it actively disturbs your normal appetite regulation. Basically, your body's natural signals for hunger and fullness get totally scrambled. Step 2, it stimulates adipogenesis. That's the actual creation of brand new fat cells. And step 3, it increases your overall lipid storage, meaning your body holds onto and retains that fat much more aggressively. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the clear dose-response relationship seen in scientific surveys. Higher concentrations of phthalate biomarkers in urine are significantly linked to increased adiposity and can actually predict long-term weight gain in both adults and children.
Section 3. Generational and systemic impacts beyond the waistline.
As if altering our fat cells and scrambling our hunger signals wasn't bad enough, the fallout from phthalate exposure actually builds across a human lifespan, even affecting future generations. Let's move to and see how this builds. It starts during gestation with in utero exposure. It continues into infancy with early life exposure. And the result? By the time that child is 5 to 10 years old, in mid-childhood, that early exposure has been directly associated with more rapid weight gain and a consistently higher body mass index. They are fighting an uphill metabolic battle before they even start kindergarten.
And the systemic damage absolutely doesn't stop at BMI. Beyond obesity, endocrine-disrupting chemicals like phthalates drastically increase the risk for a whole host of severe, life-altering health issues. We are talking about increased risks of cancers, diabetes, kidney, liver, and thyroid disorders, severe neurological impacts, and widespread chronic inflammation throughout the entire body. Furthermore, and this is where it gets incredibly serious, these chemicals are linked to alterations in both male and female reproductive development, infertility, and even impacts on future generations due to germ cell alterations.
Section 4. The Escape Plan. How to protect yourself.
Okay, let's take a collective deep breath. While the systemic risks and the sheer ubiquity of these chemicals are absolutely daunting, you are not powerless here. And this brilliantly illustrates how you can take action. The experts recommend highly practical, everyday swaps to clear these out of your life and take back control. On the avoid side, stop heating your food in plastic containers in the microwave. Stop using plastic food storage where possible, and aggressively cut down on highly processed or canned foods. On the choose side, empower yourself with these simple swaps. Purchase personal care products, your lotions, your cosmetics that are explicitly labeled as phthalate-free. Replace your plastic food storage containers with glass or ceramic alternatives. And whenever possible, opt for whole, fresh foods over anything processed or wrapped in layers of commercial plastic.
Which brings us to the most important part of this entire explainer. What is one small swap you can make in your home today to reduce your hidden phthalate exposure? You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. But armed with this scientific knowledge, you have the power to step out of that nearly 100% exposure bracket. Think about the lotions on your bathroom counter, the containers in your kitchen cabinets, or the food in your pantry. Pick just one thing. Make that change today and start taking your metabolic health back.